welcome back to the TwitchPrime stream. I'm hi-rez Amanda. I work at hi-rez Studios. We're the creators of Smite and Paladins, and we are so excited to be here at TwitchCon. We've got some new content coming out as a part of the TwitchPrime deal. We've got Twitch Amir with a new crown, as well as Bomb King has a new skin from Paladins, and I'm joined by Rain Day.
Hello.
Do you want to say a little bit about what you do at hi-rez?
Yes. So my name is Rain Day, and actually I am a caster. I'm an esports man and also a video content man. So for the game, I'm involved in a lot of different areas. I manage the stream channel that we have as well, and kind of just am all Paladins at hi-rez.
Awesome. Well, for those of you who aren't familiar with Paladins, can you give a little bit of an overview?
Absolutely. Actually, I don't think I can do that. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I can do that absolutely. So Paladins is a fantasy team-based shooter. It's an FPS, which happens to be free to play. And it's something that we just recently launched on Steam. It's been met with a very good reception in terms of player base. I think we've hit over 2 million downloads already in 2 weeks. So it's been very, very exciting, very fast, a lot of things moving forward, but overall the game is really taking off.
Awesome. And right now it's in closed beta?
It's an open beta, so we've been in closed beta phase for quite a while, and we actually Steam initiated the launch of the open beta for us.
Awesome. And in Paladins, there are 2 different game modes. Can you talk a little about those 2?
Right. So for those of you who aren't familiar with shooters, there's usually an objective, just most like any other game. For us, we have 2 game modes, one called Siege and one called Payload. Payload's kind of the casual game mode, whereas you're trying to push a payload to the farthest distance, in the fastest amount of time, essentially.
You gotta work as a team.
Exactly. And it's working against a team. One team is attacking, the other team's defending, and then you have that moment to both attack and then defend as well.
And how long are those games?
Typically, you're at about 10 to 15 minutes for those.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and then also we're going to Siege is pretty much the competitive mode that we have, and that's where all the professional players play. And so that allows us to kind of grow the esport of this game a little bit more. It's more objective based. You're trying to capture an objective, and then you push that payload. So it adds another dynamic, another layer of strategy to it.
Awesome. Well, we'll get back to esports, but just talking about Paladins, if you're a new player, what are some of the best champions to get into?
Sure, yeah. So a lot of people who've played Paladins, they've seen it. It's kind of been on the radar. A lot of people have been talking about it. If you actually do pick up and try it, a couple of champions that are pretty beginner-friendly are Pip.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like, I call him a raccoon. I don't know what he is. Phoenix, I work for the game. I still don't know what he is, okay? But he's cool, and he's really easy. He launches potions. So he's got a slowing potion. He's got pretty much an AoE damaging potion. He can hop around very quickly, and he can turn people into chickens. So that's always a plus for a new player experience as well. The other champion I would say that's pretty beginner-friendly is, I would say maybe Fernando. Fernando's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I call it's the kind of champion you want to play if you suck at aiming, pretty much, because he's an AOE. He shoots a flame. He's a flamethrower kind of guy. So he's an AOE. He's a tank. He can survive pretty well. And he can do a lot of damage too. So he's a pretty good pick for a lot of people.
Those are great for people who maybe don't play the shooter genre.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Fernando, we actually have a skin for him in Smite as well.
That is true.
Yeah. And vice versa.
Exactly. If you're interested in Smite, we have if you buy the Founders Pack for Paladins, you actually get a Smite skin for Ares, which is actually probably my favorite Ares skin in the game. So a lot of people have spent $20 on Paladins, a lot of my Smite friends, and they said, I just spent $20 on Paladins to get that skin. It's really worth it, and now I think they're actually playing the game, which is great too.
Awesome. And what about you? Do you have a particular champion that's your favorite?
Absolutely. I am a Bomb King man. I'm a Bomb King man, and I'm a Buck man.
Okay.
A lot of really cool mechanics with these champions. I'm a big fan of unique mechanics, and I feel like Buck he's a shotgun wielding, buff bald guy. He never skips leg day, so he can jump around and basically just land on opponents, shoot them with a net, slow them, shoot the shotgun, and his ultimate is basically just no cooldowns, essentially. So he's jumping all over the place, landing on people, shooting them with nets. So it's a really fun experience, really in your face, really visceral. And then Bomb King is he's such a unique champion. I mean, he's a bomb. And he's throwing bombs, and he's the king of bombs. I mean, it's very, very cool. It's a very fantasy-oriented world that Paladins lives in. So we really like that. It's really fun for me to play those too.
Awesome, awesome. And so you've been working a lot on the Paladins stream.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Paladins is, as you know, we've been in open beta for about 2 weeks. You may not know that, actually. But the stream has actually been involved. We've been involved in streaming Paladins for a lot of months now. And now I've recently taken over managing the stream. And one of our goals is to create 24/7 content like we did with Smite earlier for Paladins. So you're always able to see a professional Paladins match. You're always able to see a pro Paladins player. You're always able to see a cool community person. I stream on there 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not selling out here. That's when I do it. That's my job. And then we have a lot of great streamers. So pretty much right now from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern time, you are guaranteed to see somebody on that stream. So we're really excited, and we're bringing in pros as well to kind of up your game. I know that's something I always wanted, so we're doing that a lot.
That's great. That's great. Do you have any Paladin streamers you want to shout out?
Paladin streamer Rain Day. That guy is great. The Drive Air. I'm seeing people talking about Drive Air. No, Pretty Hair and I. He's actually one of my co-casters as well. Yeah. Vox. He's another caster for Paladin's game. I know I'm going to get in trouble because I'm not mentioning somebody. No, but truly those three and Drive Air and I have been casting the game as an esport. So those are kind of some of the people you also see on stream pretty regularly.
Yeah, and how is Paladins, what's the plan for the growth in the competitive scene like esports?
Well, that's a great question. As you know, at hi-rez Studios with Smite, we were very, very interested and invested in growing the esport community. That was something that was one of our biggest goals and biggest achievements, I think, for Smite. It's a very developed Smite Pro League. And so for Paladins, we want to take the same approach. You know, we really care about our pros. We really care about creating sustainable, revenues for them to be able to play Paladins as a profession and continue to show our game off while they really live their lives. You know, that's a dream for a lot of people. So far in the last 6 months, this is a shirt I actually got from DreamHack. We were in Sweden. Is the very first founders tournament, and I hope I did chess today. Pretty much it's the founders tournament, and we had $100,000 on the line for the two teams in closed beta. So we're in open beta now, so we upped it. We have a $150,000 tournament coming up at the hi-rez Expo, Smite World Championships, and you guys can get tickets to that if you want to come out. It's in Atlanta. I'm an LA guy, but I just moved to Atlanta. It's a great place, and we'll be showcasing Paladins there as well. And we've also got leagues that we do, circuits we call them, throughout the year. So we got about 50,000 in circuits we've been giving to the teams, as well as about 150 and 100 at the last two big tournaments. So about 300,000 in 6 months so far.
That's awesome. And all this is streamed on twitch.tv/Paladins game?
Yep, you can catch most of it. Myself and Pretty Hair will actually be casting the majority of the champion circuit, which is our next step to qualifying for the hi-rez Expo. So you'll be seeing the best teams in North America and Europe every Saturday and Sunday, and seeing who basically gets a chance at the big trophy.
Awesome. That's going to be great. So we've got some community questions, but before we get to that, what is the pipeline for new content coming into Paladins, even while it's in open beta?
That's what everybody wants to know. More champions, more maps. I want it all. Well, that's been great. That's actually one of the things we're really, really well known. And I was a YouTuber. I still am a Smite YouTuber. I got involved with hi-rez based off of that. But one of the things that kept me engaged with hi-rez was because every couple of weeks they were introducing something new to the game, which is pretty rare for a lot of companies. But also they really listen to feedback of their players. So for us, our goal is we don't have a set timeline like Smite. Again, we just reached open beta. Smite's been out for a while. But the idea is, best case scenario, we're having, maybe a champion every month, a patch every 2 weeks. So you're getting either, some new skins, some new maps, a lot of those cool things that people really like at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What about skins? I know there's been a lot.
Skins.
I just saw the punk rock Eevee skin.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm a huge Eevee fangirl, so that skin's great.
I know. I almost was thinking, because she's really strong and she just got nerfed, so I was thinking, is that good timing or bad timing for that skin to come out? But it's a beautiful skin. So yeah, epic skins are finally, now that it's in open beta, more of the gameplay mechanics are settled. And so a lot more of the time will be sent to cosmetics, to new champions, to new maps, and all that stuff, rather than what identity do we really want to have as a game.
Cool. So if somebody was just getting into Paladins, you recommended a few champions, but was there a particular game mode that you recommend over the other?
Well, in terms of recommending someone who's just getting into Paladins, maybe you have never heard the word Paladins except in World of Warcraft or something like that. I would say this. Paladins is a game that's basically, it's free to play. It's a team-based shooter, but there are a lot of things that kind of make it unique in its own realm, right? Paladins the realm. It's a fantasy shooter, which I know a lot of gamers, a lot of people who are into fantasy, sci-fi. I mean, naturally, we read Patrick Rothfuss, we love Brandon Sanderson. We love these guys, and we love those worlds. And a lot of shooters go into the sci-fi military aspect.
Yeah.
So Paladins is one of those only shooters where you really get that lighthearted fantasy thing. And that's what I actually really like that about it.
Yeah.
Even before I played in open beta, I wasn't even connected to hi-rez, at that point in time.
And you guys are kind of running with that too, with the whole realm.
Yes, the realm. We'll move on. We might get there at another point. That to be determined how that all shapes up, but that's really exciting. The realm is where Paladins universe is. But then there's also the fact that it's a super customizable experience. So a lot of shooters and hero shooters, team shooters nowadays, they allow you to pick a champion and you have abilities. And that's kind of like your feel, right? I want a different feel for this champion. Yeah. Well, I just got to pick a different champion. Well, when Paladins, you pretty much have the ability to customize loadouts with cards. So at the beginning, people were like, Hearthstone? Well, pretty much it's cards and allowing you to customize your champion further. So if you want to play Buck and you want to jump on people, we have cards that allow you to jump on more people or more efficiently.
All you want to do is
jump.
Or
gain lifesteal when you jump on people. If you want to play a different champion, we can let you shoot more rockets or make those rockets more efficient. Or screw that and you want to fly, we can make your flying more valuable for you. And so it really helps to customize the experience, from the bottom up, right when you get out of the gates. So that's really unique as well.
Awesome. Well, let's get into some of the questions we have from the community. Let me pull them up here. We got a lot of great questions. So thank you to everyone who tweeted them in. Yeah. So our first question we have is from Mashed Potato 43, which is a great name. Will new champions be released at the same rate as Gods in Smite?
Right. So we kind of touched on that. Right now the plan is, like I said, is ideally we have 2 weeks where we have, a patch coming in. And ideally one of those weeks, within a month. So once a month we have a new champion. This is, nothing set in stone, obviously. Different priorities will come up. But for us, that's an ideal kind of time frame.
Okay, great. Our next question is from @JRPGFan89. Do you have a timeline as to when you'd like to start the console closed beta?
So there is no timeline, but as you guys and those watching at home, those who are here may have known, Paladins, the #1 question I get on my Twitter, when is Paladins coming to console? Yeah. Randy, do you know if something's coming to console? It's like...
It's just me asking over and over again.
It's worse than any spam I get anywhere. Like, it's worse than any, messaging I can get on any social platform. So, pretty much, I thought it was done when we announced that PS4 and Xbox One were going to close beta on console. So, you can sign up for that. Just follow the Paladins Game Twitter. Check out my Twitter, Rainday Gaming. Check out @Paladins Game. And you guys can see we've retweeted and shown the links for that. So, sign up right now. We don't know when it'll come, but if you're following and you're signed up, you will be one of the first to be there.
Yeah, we'll be blasting that out for sure.
Yes, we're working very hard.
Yes. Our next question is from Belmati96. Are you going to improve the custom game system? Example, be able to create 2v2 or 3v3?
So, as you know, we're at Xingqian's Mountain.
Yes. Oh,
the raid
fun.
mode. Before that, another mode went viral for our game, which is called Raid Boss. That actually was very unique because it was one god versus 5 other gods who couldn't buy good items, so it was an overpowered experience versus having to work as a team to beat that. Yeah. We have Smite as our background for these systems, so our goal is to bring that same maneuverability and accessibility to Paladins. We don't have a date for that, but we do anticipate being able to do those things fully the same way we have those capabilities in Smite.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it seems like one of those things that kind of ramp up over time as people want those custom features.
I mean, you want to be able to, have your shooting mechanics correct before you're worried about 2v2, 3v3, right?
Definitely. Our next question is kind of a little bit of a strange one, but we got...
okay.
It is, what are some of the abilities that didn't make it into the game? So were there some cool things that were talked about maybe? Or that were in the game for a short time and then taken out?
That didn't make it into the game. Okay, so if you're new to open beta...
Yeah, and like hi-rez ourselves, we like to have a little bit of fun with things.
We do. We do like to have some fun. So let's think. So one of the abilities that was in the game was for Buck. We mentioned Buck. Buck, his ultimate just lowers his cooldowns and gives him a ton of damage. Before that, Buck actually had a wall that was like, he punched the ground and a huge fortress of rock went up around you, and it was like, enter the Buck dungeon. Like, get in here and fight me. And he would gain, you know, some defense. It was really unique. I haven't seen a lot of that kind of stuff, but we decided to remove it, and we're going to probably look to, you know, may come back in other ways. It's nothing to know, but that was one of the things in the game a lot of open beta people may not know. The other thing is Grover. Grover, one of our champions, which is totally, I mean, we see this all the time, but a tree who has an axe for a weapon. That's totally, so many games I have definitely dealt with that. But he is actually one of the champions that used to be in the damage class, and he's now a support. So a lot of people throw long-range axes with him and heal their teammates. They don't realize that a couple patches before, he was hacking people down with that axe and swinging around like a whirlwind and just getting pentakills everywhere. So it's really funny for us to have played the game and see his development, but if you're in open beta, you may not know that.
Yeah, that's always one of the fun things about being involved with one of the betas, and you get to see kind of how the game evolves and progresses. So, I mean, right now we're in open beta, so it's fun to go check it out.
Exactly.
But let's loop back around to the Paladins stream. So you've been managing that for a while now, and getting new streamers on board. What are some of the things you look for in streamers, and maybe what are some advice you have for new streamers?
Well, you know, for me, I didn't really start out as a streamer. Like, I'm a YouTube guy. Like, Twitch is fantastic. It's amazing being here, but my business is outside in a kind of a different market where, you know, recorded videos. But I did build a platform streaming, and it's one of the best ways to actually get people invested in you, right? Twitch was crucial to me becoming somebody that people were invested in, you know, and having moderators and people who would on my comment section, you know, say, hey, don't say that, you know, this guy's actually good, you don't know what you're talking about. And just having those kind of fans, those real fans that are with you. And so as a streamer on Paladins game, one of the things I'm really trying to do is allow people to build themselves up as they build our game. That's one of the cool things about it. You know, we offer, you know, an hourly rate wage to our streamers. We also allow our streamers to do giveaways that aren't just, hey, follow the company. We want you to follow the streamers too. We want you to be, you know, basically as involved as you can be, because the bigger you get, the bigger the game will get. So for us, it's really this intrinsic kind of thing that we want to support our community from listening to them, changing the game based on, you know, what they feel, and then also just making sure that our stars kind of get to ride. I'm a community member, you know, and now I'm here discussing the game at this point. So that's just an example of how hi-rez kind of does things with their streams and just every other aspect of the business.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seems it's such a great way to get the community involved, and streaming is a great platform to have that like instant community connection.
Absolutely.
So if somebody wanted to get into streaming for Paladins, how would they do so, and what are some tips?
So if you want to get into streaming if you want to just be a better streamer, I mean, and get into Paladins, the things we're really looking for are being able to be educational. That's a huge benefit. If you can let someone know how to play a game better, they're going to follow you everywhere.
Especially while it's just starting up with open
As
beta.
long as they play that game. The other aspect about being a great streamer, I think, is being entertaining. Now, entertaining and being entertaining can kind of trump everything, right? Because if you're entertaining to watch, it doesn't really matter whether you're that good at the game. People are going to enjoy watching you. It may be a hindrance if you just can't play, but if you're decent and you're really entertaining, you can bypass a lot of things. But one of the other things we look for is being able to, since it's a company stream, develop, you know, more of that business relation where you're well-mannered, you're positive. One of the big things for me is creating a positive community. I'm all about gamers. That's what my channel is all about. It's about, you know, really creating gaming going into a more positive direction. You know, from Twitch chat to everything, YouTube comments to whatever it is. So for us, that's one of the main things we're looking for. We've had a lot of really powerful, really big names that we have or had not been able to fit in, you know, in terms of the Paladins community, because we've really wanted to make sure the people we put are going to put the right message out to the new players playing. So that's very important to us.
Awesome, awesome. So with Paladins, one of the best ways to get involved is the Founders Pack.
Yes.
Do you want to explain that? Because there's not a lot of games that do stuff like that.
Sure. So a lot of people are saying, okay, free to play is pay to win. I don't know what that is. No. So the best way to look at free to play is try before you buy. That is the best way to look at it, because it's really a lot of games really make you kind of take a guess, a gamble at whether you're going to like them or not. Free to play is essentially, yes, we want you to play the game and get invested. That's our sales pitch. We're not going to throw in, we'll do the marketing, but the sales pitch is the game. So if you like the game, then we encourage you to unlock, and it's very simple. It's very easy. Like I didn't need to pay for anything. I know a lot of people who did not pay anything in Paladins and have more stuff than I do because they've just played enough. You get gold, you get crystals for leveling up, and basically you get loot chests that allow you to get new content, new cards. That's what a lot of people try and get, the skins as well. And so pretty much being able to have that kind of aspect of trying before you buy is really great for our game because people can check it out when they normally wouldn't be able to check out a $60 game or something like that with if their friend couldn't afford it. So then moving into the Founders Pack, what that allows you to do is kind of bypass some of the grind. So it's not really a grind. It's really easy, but if you want to just start out and say, I've got everything, you can buy the Founders Pack. Yeah. And it's $19.99. We went on sale for Steam. I don't know if we're still on sale. I should probably know that. And then you are getting every champion that comes out in the game forever. Yeah. Forever. And I've always loved those deals. I bought the $30 God Pack for Smite. I mean, I think we had 20 champions at that point. Now we have 77. So I got 57 free champion, basically. So it's an amazingly good deal. And it gets you a lot of cool stuff. You get a cool mount, exclusive, and some loot chests, some cards to get you going. So if you want to do that, it's a great way.
Yeah, and then everything else that's purchasable in the game is cosmetic items.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just cosmetic. So the idea is try before you buy, getting invested. When you get invested, you then want cool stuff, right? You want to look cool in the game that you're invested in. So
of course, I want to look cool all the time.
You want to get some of the skins, and we charge for the skins. We charge for, being able to sometimes unlock things faster. I played a lot of games in my life. This is one of the games that I would say is so easy to get all the stuff we have, except for those epic skins, and those are really worth it in my opinion. The Eevee one you mentioned is amazing. Oh yeah,
that Eevee skin is so cool. Oh man. Speaking of Eevee, I cosplayed as her at Gamescom and had a blast, and we're doing another cosplay contest at our World Championship event, and this year we have all of our categories are for Smite and Paladins.
Ooh.
So I'm hoping to see some pretty epic cosplay.
Some Canessas.
Oh, Canessa's pretty
Cassies.
cool. Fernando would be awesome. I
want to see some bucks
too.
Actually. I want to see some buff.
You should do it.
You should want to see some bucks. Oh, you're married. Sorry. My bad. I'm messing things up.
Oh, man.
So we have some gameplay that we can show some people, and we can show on stream. So if we want to jump into the gameplay and kind of see a little bit of what Paladins looks like when you're actually playing it.
Yeah, for sure.
We can show that. We can start that going up right now if you guys want to take us there. So this is kind of the gameplay that you'll see when you go into the game. You'll be able to kind of queue up for casual, competitive. You'll be able to see your friends list right there, see who's on in lobby, accept some requests.
That's great. It's a very social game.
Very social. I just maxed out at 1,000 friends, and we gotta raise.
Oh man, you're too popular.
Higher,
that is too many friends.
I gotta say,
there's such a thing.
I think they just want free crystals. That's what I got. I've got 3,070 on there, so that's quite a lot.
Oh man.
Just to put in perspective, our new Eevee bundle was like 600.
Yep.
So, I have a lot. And so you can see the new skins. You can see the latest patch notes. This gets updated every 2 weeks. So essentially, this patch is something that is currently showing all of the benefits we have now, and this will be completely different. It's probably completely different now if you were to download the game.
Do you know when the next patch is coming out?
So the next patch is coming out it just actually released. So one of the things that we did was we took a champion that was really popular, and her name was Ying.
Yeah.
And we took her out for a patch, and everyone hated us. And they said, put Ying back in the game. She's my waifu. And I'm literally quoting that. And so we put her back, but we changed her a little bit. And actually, everyone really loves her right now. She plays really well. She's a support that is basically shoots mini lasers, but can also teleport based on creating clones. So she creates clones of herself. She could teleport to those clones, and then she could basically shatter those clones.
Cool.
And then also create dimensional prisms that heal allies as well and teleport to those in her ultimate. So she's very hard to lock down.
That's awesome. So enemies are hitting their clones and not really knowing which one is the real Ying.
Exactly. And if they shatter on you, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of burst. So she's one of the more challenging, more high skill cap type of champions. She's got very high skill ceiling.
What champion are you playing as right now?
So right now, this is Barrick. This is our Dwarven Engineer. I don't have the Team Fortress 2 skin yet. We did a promotion with them, teamed up with Valve on Steam. We've done very well so far. I mean, we've been in the top 5 games in Steam for a while. We're top 3 free-to-play game. And so that's already a great accomplishment for being out for just a couple weeks. But I want to play Barrick because in honor of the TF2 skin, but I don't have it. So the irony is real with this one. The thought was there. I think that's what we made. That's what
matters.
Yeah. So we're stepping up. This is our Glacier Keep map. So in Paladins, this is kind of what it is. You jump in and immediately you have your decks, your loadouts that you can choose from. I chose from a loadout that allows me to basically have my turrets heal me.
Cool.
Okay, there are loadouts that allow you to make your shield stronger or increase the distance of your dash and give you a shield after you dash. There are loadouts that allow you to basically have your turrets deploy very, very quickly because they have a time that they need to deploy.
Okay.
Barrick is an interesting champion in that regard, where he can do a lot on his own. More so, he doesn't really just rely on his turrets, but they can be very, very helpful to him.
Awesome.
So again, your thinking, your customization happens right from the beginning. And if you didn't notice, I didn't talk about it. I have a blue thing in the bottom right corner. That is an item. So you may be wondering, wait, is this a MOBA? Is this a shooter? No, this is actually an item. So I throw down actually my turret right there. There's a Grok, he's a healing. And I throw up my shield. So me and Makoa are over here on this side. He's a turtle with just bad business. He's got a hook. He's also got a cannon. That's a turtle shield that allows him to shield allies in there. And there's a Fernando.
Cool.
He's getting healed up
are you playing
by the Grok. I'm played as the Barrick here. So us two are fighting for this payload. And as this happens, I'm getting bonus damage and I'm getting healed up. If you look at my health bar, Fernando, they overcommitted. They didn't do the right thing. But if you look at my health bar as I stand near after we kill this Androxus, I stand near here, it's actually going to go up. There's no in-combat healing. You have to go out, and you will heal up after a couple of seconds. But with this build, you can kind of set your turrets up and go back and kind of it's called Healing Station. It's a card called Healing Station 4. And so that's one of the perks of this build. We're kind of just zoning them off now. On the top side of your screen, you see the points racking up 81. And now that they're on it, the point is contested. So we have to get them off. There are cards, if you see a lot of shields, there's a card to say, okay, my weapon, it does 50% more damage to shield. And you can upgrade that throughout the game. So by level 3, you're doing 150% damage to shields. So if you shoot for 900, and you times that by 1.5,
you're doing some serious damage.
And a shield is only 10,000 or 5,000, that's like 2-3 hits and you're basically done. And so these are the choices you have to make because you can also say, well, I want 30% damage reduction. I can't do both. I don't have enough money for both. There's charges that allow you to get your ultimate up faster. And right here, Barrick, he can actually ride the payload.
Awesome.
And he's one of the only characters, he's so short, he can actually not get shot on the other side of the payload. So we're here fighting, contesting. Those are my rocket boots to get out of trouble. And look, I just dropped the turret. I'm healing up, out of combat, and I'm already ready to go back into the fight. Fernando's kind of standing strong. So this is one of our choke points, and this is pretty much one of the harder places to do this because this is where everyone has a fighting chance to take you down. It's really hard to work as a group here.
The bigger battles happen.
But thank God Barrick has his ultimate, which is something I'll probably look to use in a few minutes, and that is just called Lockdown. It's called Dome Shield now. He's basically going to be in a very Dwarven here. He's going to throw a turret that does a flamethrower damage and shields up to 20,000 damage in that bubble for 4 seconds. And so anyone who's standing near there needs to run. It's pretty much just like get out of the way, and it's great at clearing a point, clearing an objective, or finally getting us past that choke that we, obviously needed to get by. We have currently like 7 maps, I think, at this point for the game. There's 3 glacier-based. There's several towards more of like an enchanted temple ruin. And then we also have an enchanted forest style map as well that we've been using. And those are getting added, like I said, every single patch. So right here, I've got my turret set up, and I'm just healing up out of combat. There's Androxus. That's the accursed arm, actually. He's a very damaging champion. He's got 3 dashes. He can jump up in the air, shoot pinpoint, huge damage shots, and just completely swing a team fight. That was his ultimate, keeping him alive. And every ally within about 50 units with him. And I see the Grok about to go down there, so I try and take him out. There's the shield, though. Androxus, he's greedy. He wants me. Oh, he's got me, actually. That was his reversal. So Androxus is a champion who he can actually absorb damage. So he absorbed that turret shot that went to him, and he shot it back at me after delayed. So now I have to make the decision. Okay, I want Haven too, because I feel with Barrack, he's, you know, as a tank, he's got a lot of shields.
Okay.
But he doesn't have a lot of health.
Yeah.
You know, Fernando, he's got 6,000. He got left out. So I want more damage reduction, essentially. And that is the key. I'm taking 20% less damage now on direct attacks.
So every time you die, you can change a different loadout?
Every time you die, you cannot. So when you go into the start of a game, you have one loadout.
Okay.
And that's what you have.
Okay, and then you
that
choose
is
your
a
card.
serious
Yeah.
decision. It's like getting, like, you know, married. It's like, we're going to do this. And we're going to make this work, right? Hopefully. And then after that, after you get married to your loadout, throughout the game, you can decide to upgrade cards. And I could keep upgrading Haven, or I could just say, I want to move on and get another card.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, as you get the higher levels of each item, excuse me, I've been saying cards. These are items. I'm trying to go into their base there. It looks like you can't. You'll die if you just run into their base. I set my turret up here, and the ultimate is almost ready. As you upgrade your items, they cost more and more money. So then the question is, do I upgrade to a higher tier of Haven, or do I actually just get 2 cheap items that might help me more across the board in this fight? So really, you know, as far as shooters, you're not often making these many choices. And that's what I think makes Paladins unique. That's why I think a lot of the people who have actually played it, we have pros here as well. I don't know if they're in the crowd. They might be joining us, but that really find not only the pacing of Paladins, but the fact that there's so many different competitive choices to make you a better player, not only because of the way you shoot, but because of the way that you think. And I think that's one of the most intriguing things about it here. So I now don't have enough for Haven 3. So I can save up, or I can grab some of the healing cards. Morale Boost is something that I'm going to pick up here, it looks like. Or Master Riding. So Master Riding, you start the round on a mount.
Yeah.
Okay, so with Master,
cool.
Okay, so people say, what are the horses doing?
Yeah.
So it's just to get you to the battle quicker.
Yeah.
That's literally it. That's all it is.
But you get to be on a horse, so it's great.
And I mean, don't you want like a magic carpet mount? Like, don't you want like a spider mount? I mean, you know, there's stuff to do with that.
There we go. There's all the horses.
So basically, I use Master Riding. Why? Because Barrack is an engineer, and my thought process is that since he's building the turrets, I'm really not as good without them. So I want to get to the point first and get established.
Yep.
So that extra mount speed is going to mean I beat Fernando there, and we've already turned the engagement. We've been able to take out the healer before he could get his healing totem down, and now it's just the Fernando. I want to set up another turret here to get 2 turrets healing me up for 240. Here's the Androxus, though, and he's got me. So I set up the wall, and that's going to allow me to actually stop any of the damage coming forward. And now it's just the Androxus up there. He looks like he's handling my teammate, though. That's Pip. He got taken down. Thunderdope gets just thundered on, and now I want to get revenge for my teammate. I'm like, you know what? I'm Barrack, but Emperor, he's the cast. He already did that for me. And so now we're just holding off to this point, and now it's kind of like, okay, we wait. There's the Grok ultimate, and that's kind of like just by himself here. You'll see it's very team-based, so if you try to run in 1v5, you're not going to have a great time.
Yeah, you got to work together.
And that's what makes it very much like Jing Chen's Mountain. That's what makes it so enticing for pros, for players. It's really team-oriented. So individual skill, it will get you far, but it may not get you as far as a fully coordinated team. Here, I'm trying to hop up onto these boxes here. So, as you can see, when Barrack has his turrets up, he's just a monster, right? He's just so hard to get past. We get another objective, and that's giving us another point. Now, they haven't stopped us on defense. But if they were to stop us, they would actually get a point. And it would be 3-1. It's 3-0 now. We've captured and we've pushed every single time. Here's the Androxus. That was a Victor ultimate coming down, an artillery strike. I'm trying to get him, but he hits me with the Defiance, though, and that is not what I wanted there. So I go back to base. But like I said, you get a point after each round, whether you successfully capture an objective, that gives you a point. Whether you push it to the other team's base would be another point. Or if you defend successfully, that's another point. The only caveat is you cannot win on a defense. So if it's 3-3, and the team that might have won defends, you still have to go play another capture point.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you gotta really go for it at the end. We're not just gonna allow, because inherently pushing, defending, a lot of people think defending's a little easier than pushing, and in many ways it can be.
And how many playable champions are there right now in the open beta?
So right now in the open beta, we have 17 playable champions. In this next patch, we should be adding our 18th. And he's going to be fun. I can't say too much about him.
You might get tackled on stage.
I might get some emails. Todd, Nabil might tackle me. So we're going to keep that out of... you have to wait and see. You have to download the game and check it out.
Definitely.
Definitely the most exciting part from our communities is getting new champions. One of the most requested things alongside new maps.
Oh, yes.
So they've been really excited about that. So here's the final push. You see I have the dome shield up. There's Fernando just popping his shield as well. It's shield on shield action here. Not the most exciting thing. But it's got to get the job done. The Grok gets pulled, though, and he's got a Ghost Walk. That makes him immune to damage. So he heals up in that. He can actually heal in his Ghost Walk. I'm one shot away. I take him down, though, and it's 27 seconds until the clock goes 0. And if we don't push this, we're going to have to fight them again. We could do this whole push-defend thing again. So this is really, really important. Awesome. Here's Androxus with a reversal, though. He's about to go down. There it is. The last man standing clears it up. That's the victory. And just quickly, before we end the video, I want to show the in-match screen. And that shielding damage. You see all of your stats here after each video. Now, the one thing we didn't talk about, you can probably end the video now. I have no, GG. Okay, good. So the one thing I do want to talk about is competitive.
Yes.
Because we talk about esports, but say you're really interested in like ranked and competitive. In Paladins, we have a very unique competitive system. So you solo queue. Okay, a lot of people don't like that, but I think a lot of people more so don't like getting ganged up on pros.
Yeah.
By pros, you know, 5v like an individual is a solo queue. So you solo queue, and what happens is you earn individual MMR or ELO or whatever you want to call it per that champion. So right there in a competitive match, I would have been able to choose and Barrack and see how much better I did as a Barrack, where I went. If I was at 1,500, I can get to 1,600 from that match. And then I can go to a leaderboard from every Paladins player in the world, out of the millions of people who have downloaded it, and see who is the best Barrack in the world.
Yeah.
Who's the best Grok? Who's the best Pip? And you can actually have that, and you get gold-plated, diamond-plated banners around your thing. So a lot of the ranked competitive action has been just skyrocketing once we introduced it a few patches ago, because everyone wants to be the best. They want to be the number one.
And if you get a shiny frame.
And you get a shiny frame, too. And that is like, so that's a huge plus. The other thing about our competitive mode, which is different than other shooters and in our game, is that in competitive, there is no champion switching and there is no duplicate champions.
Okay.
So you cannot play with Barrack on the other team if I have Barrack. Same thing with Fernando. So it creates a whole nother layer of, I think, competitive strategy and team comp building that allows, you know, I think Paladins pros to make those extra decisions to really feel gratified at the end of the day when they won because they paid it off. They drafted well. They, you know, very MOBA-esque in that regard, very much like a MOBA.
And you have to have like a well-rounded champion base that you can play.
There's first pick, there's last pick. So if you pick somebody that's a sniper, first pick, they're going to counter you, and you can't deal with that. So if you last pick a sniper, you might have a better chance because you know what their team comp is. So very, very unique aspects about it. The no champions switching or just the duplicate champions at all.
Is there any gate to get into the ranked play? Yeah,
so the thing is with ranked, everyone's grinding ranks now because you have to get mastery levels.
Okay.
The highest mastery level of a champion you can get is 25.
And for those aren't familiar, when just by playing the champion, you master
just by playing, you gain levels, you gain gold, you gain stuff. The highest, it takes about 400 hours to get a champion to level 25.
Wow.
There are not a lot of level 25s.
That's impressive.
If you get to level 25, you have pretty much mastered that champion, we would say. Or just played them a lot and are very bad at this game. You don't know. It could be one of the others. And so being able to have like those distinctions for our players, I think allows us to really, you know, help them feel unique, help them feel like they're the best, you know, like they have their own special universe where they exist. It's been really fun.
That's great. And we should talk a little bit about the maps.
Yes.
So the one you were playing on was really awesome.
That's Glacier Keep.
Okay.
That was pretty much a glacier map, and like I said, we have an enchanted forest kind of map, and we also have like more of a temple, serpent temple, jaguar falls type thing.
Cool.
You don't know what I'm saying. You can't even imagine that, can you? It's like I have to see that. What is that? Serpent temple, jaguar falls? It's serious
a lot of
stuff.
words. Yeah.
So our maps are really tight. There's a lot of verticality. There's a lot of choke points and interesting locations to play. And we found that the gameplay has really thrived once we've introduced these types of maps.
Awesome.
And there's new ones coming. We hope to have them, every month, maybe every couple of months.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit less frequently than every champion, right?
Okay. So with the competitive scene, we've got some stuff going on.
Yes.
What can people tune into?
So if you guys, exactly. So if you want to see the competitive scene, you can actually check out twitch.tv/Paladins game right now. And if you guys follow that, you'll get notified every time we go live, which is basically 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning every day. But then on Saturdays and Sundays, you'll see the competitive tournaments taking place. And you can actually see all these champions getting picked and playing at their highest level, which is always really cool. I'm a competitive guy. I was drafted to the MLS by DC United. I played 4 years at UCLA, soccer. So I was like always into sports. The competitive side of things got me interested. I'm an esports commentator. I know a lot of people love that stuff.
Yeah. And even just when we were at DreamHack, it was so cool to see the first Founders tournament. There was 4 teams that competed, right?
Yeah, we have 4 teams. And so the other cool thing about the competitive scene now is we've got teams from Southeast Asia, Brazil, Latin America, Australia, Europe, America, China. So we've got everyone coming to the hi-rez Expo. It is going to be absolutely nuts. This game has done really well in its initial release, in China. And so we've been very excited about kind of where the direction of esports are going. It's becoming very, very global very quickly.
Yeah, that's great. So if me and a couple of my friends were mastery level 25, how would I get into the competitive scene?
That's right. That's exactly. I wanted you to remind me of that. So you have to get mastery level 4, which takes about, I would say, 5 games or so, maybe a little bit more, on 12 champions.
Okay.
Again, because you cannot have the same champion on each team in ranked, you have to have at least 12 so that you can play somebody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they took all the champions and you were last pick, you wouldn't be able to actually participate. So that's why we make it 12.
And then once you're in ranked, you want to just keep trying to be the very best.
Yes.
And that's where the teams are being formed?
Yeah, you got to play 5 games per champion to actually get your provisional rating. You're provisional until then, and then they say, you're about here, and we give you your starting ELO. And some people become masters in their 5 games and like, I'm never playing again. I'm already a master. And then you just keep playing to kind of build it up and keep moving.
Awesome.
It's the great grind. We all love it.
Yeah, that's great. And then, of course, the people who maybe don't want to go into that path, there are a lot of more casual modes as well.
That's the beauty. Smite, one of the biggest modes in the game is Arena. It's super casual. It's not our competitive mode. Paladins has a mode called Payload, like we mentioned. Super casual, a lot of fun. That's what I played when I first got into Paladins, and so a lot of people who are interested in playing Paladins, don't want to take it too seriously, could come in and get really quick, casual fun in that mode, and I'm sure other modes in the future.
It's nice, too, because you have more of like an objective to go after, and it, at least for me, it helps then if you're maybe not getting as many kills, you're like, I'm still helping the team.
We're still trying for, I still want deathmatch. I think deathmatch, you play enough games and people play deathmatch anyway, it's like...
Yeah, that's true.
Some games you feel nobody even thinks there is a point at a certain time.
It's definitely nice, the whole team building.
Yes.
I love the positivity.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Try to.
So people are interested in learning more about Paladins. They can check us out online at paladinsgame.com.
Exactly.
Do you want to run through the other channels that we're on?
Yeah, we're on Paladins Game. We're on paladinsgame.com. We're twitch.tv/paladinsgame. You can also, I think, forums.paladins.com to check out the new patch notes as well.
And that's a great place too, since it is in beta. If you do come across anything, any bugs, or you have feedback, that's a great place to leave that. I know the community team goes through there a lot.
Absolutely. And now with TwitchPrime, and we're here at the TwitchPrime stage, we've got the ability to give all of those who are members of TwitchPrime a very unique bomb skiing weapon skin, which is going to be kind of the talk of the town for a while in Paladins with all the people playing, because it's any new skin in this game right now is very exclusive and very cool. So being able to get that first, get your hands on it, I definitely recommend it. I'll be doing that myself.
And it's so cute. Bomb King is just like so awesome. I mean, I'm biased because I saw David cosplay as him.
He's not cute, okay? He's a king.
I mean, yes, he's a king.
He's a king.
But I just love the fact that he's literally a bomb.
Exactly.
And then, so the Bomb King skin has some of the Twitch purple in it, which is really cool.
Yep.
And you get that for free by just joining TwitchPrime.
TwitchPrime. That's all you got to do. Link your accounts, though. A lot of people wondering how to do it. Just link your account on Twitch and Amazon. That way you'll be able to get the skin on Paladins. We're really excited for it. There's so many good things coming out for the game. Stay tuned the esports side. Stay tuned the regular game side. Download it on Steam. Be one of the over 2 million people.
Sign up to maybe potentially play on the console closed beta if you're a console player. Awesome. So where can people find you online?
Find me at Rain Day Gaming on Twitter. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, Rain Day Gaming. And that's pretty much all that matters.
Awesome.
Twitch.tv/RainDay if you want.
Great, thank you so much. And if you do want to follow me as well, I'm at hi-rez Amanda. Most of the hi-rez employees are on social media, and we try to answer as many questions as possible. So if you do have any questions about Paladins, feel free to reach out to any of us. I know Drybear is another great person to reach out to about Paladins.
Yes. Make sure to follow all of us. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the stream. We look forward to seeing you in the realm.
Yes, thank you. Bye.